Hi beauties, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about all of the affordable and high-end beauty products that I discovered this year. So if you'd like to find out more, then just keep watching. So before we get started, if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for joining me for today's video. And if you're new to my channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button, as well as turn on the notification bell. That way you won't miss any of my uploads. Today's video is also my holiday giveaway. I wanted to give something away. I always give away something during the holidays, so I decided to incorporate my giveaway into today's video. The product that I'm giving away is the Pat McGrath Labs Mothership Mega Celestial Divinity Palette. This one is mine, and the winners is right here. I have not opened this one. I see 3 mattes and a lot of shimmers. I have not tried my palette out, so I'm excited to try it out. I thought this would be a beautiful palette to give away during the holidays. It's got so much sparkle and pizzazz. It just looks like holidays. You won't be able to use it this holiday, but you'll be able to use it at some point. All you have to do to enter to win this giveaway is like this video, leave a positive comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. I will also have a variety of ways that you can enter this giveaway multiple times to get yourself additional entries. So be sure to check down in the description box. There will be a Rafflecopter link down below that you can click in order to enter the giveaway. This giveaway will run for about 2 weeks. Be sure to check the dates down below. Be sure to click the Rafflecopter link, and that will take you to where you need to go in order to enter this giveaway. And all of the rules and other information about the giveaway will be down below in the description box. Good luck to everyone who enters, and let's go ahead and jump into today's video. Let's dive in. So this year I decided to pare down my end of year favorites into one video. Last year I went crazy. I decided to really just focus on products that I started using in the year 2020. If you'd like to find out about more products that I was loving throughout the year, you can always go back and check out my favorites videos from throughout the year. I will link a playlist of all of my favorites videos here in the cards so that you guys can check those out. This is probably going to be a long video, so if you want to speed up the playback so that it doesn't take as long to watch this video, there is a feature here on YouTube that allows you to speed up the playback just a little bit, and it will take less time to watch this video. I'm going to talk a little bit about everything. I have a little bit of skin, a little bit of brushes, a little bit of fragrance, and a whole lot of makeup. I'm going to try to do most of it in order of how I will wear it, but I have decided to talk about my skin, body, and hair care kind of in the middle of this video instead of doing it at the beginning or at the end. Let's talk about the primers that I was loving this year, that I discovered this year. The first one that I want to mention is this one by Tula, Brighten Up. That's the name of this one. It is sort of a yellow lime green color. This is a smoothing gel primer. It has a cooling sensation when you apply it. I have good makeup days whenever I wear it, and I really like that it contains skincare ingredients. So I really enjoyed this primer. Another primer I discovered this year is the Ordinary High Adherence Silicone Primer. This is also a smoothing and blurring primer. I really started using this in conjunction with my face mask, and it really helped me keep my makeup on underneath the face mask. I really didn't pay attention to the fact that it had adherence in the name of this primer until I started wearing it under the face mask, and I was like, this is really helping my foundation stay on. The Ordinary is sold at Sephora, and it is an affordable brand. This is the primer that I used today before applying my foundation. As you can tell, I've probably used up about half of it so far. The final primer that I want to talk about is not going to surprise you all. This is the Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen in SPF 40, but it doubles as a gripping primer. Definitely have used a good portion of this, and this smooths and blurs as well, and it feels sort of like a silicone type of primer, but it is beautiful on the skin. I noticed that my foundation just lasts and lasts with this product, and I really like the fact that it is unseen as a sunscreen, because a lot of sunscreens you definitely see like a white cast. This one is invisible, as you can tell. It is a great way to protect our skin from the sun, and it doubles as a primer. This is like holy grail status at this point. So that's it for primers. Moving on to foundations. I feel like I only introduced 3 new foundations to my collection this year, and all 3 of them have made it into my favorites video. The first one that I want to talk about is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation in Dewy. I discovered this at the beginning of the year. The shade that I wear is Toffee Pecan. For me to find this shade, I had to order it from Wet n Wild's website. I cannot find it in store, and this was the shade that I used in the matte version, and so I just stuck with this shade. And once I get it on my face and apply my bronzer, it works nicely. But I really like the Photo Focus foundation, and I like this dewy version of it. This kind of gives me that more natural finish and full coverage, and it's amazing. The next foundation that I want to share is this Rare Beauty foundation, and I have the shade 410N, and I did film a review on this foundation, but I was wearing a lighter shade. I returned that shade and purchased this one, and I am wearing this, I think, in an October beauty favorites and a pumpkin and spice video. I was wearing this foundation by itself. Today I am wearing this foundation along with another one that I'm going to talk to you all about. This is a really good shade match for me. It's a little bit deep, but it does work for me, and I wasn't sure whether I would really love this foundation, but as it turns out, I really do. It sometimes can get a little bit dewy throughout the day, but for the most part, I just have a beautiful skin-like natural finish, and it wears well, and it really is a great foundation for mixing in with other foundations. It makes other more matte foundations look a little bit more natural. I've really enjoyed this foundation and reached for it a lot in the second half of the year. The final foundation that I want to talk about is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation. This is the shade Cadiz. I really probably could have used a couple of shades darker, but I ordered this online. This was the shade that was recommended to me, and I'm lazy and I don't want to return it. I'm gonna make it work. I think the video that I posted prior to this one, I was trying out new makeup and I was trying out this foundation. This is the foundation that I'm also wearing today with the Rare Beauty. I thought they would pair nicely together, and I was right. This is a beautiful foundation. I haven't had it very long, so I wasn't sure about putting it in this video, but so far I've had really great makeup days with it. It looks great on the skin. It is a very, very matte foundation, but it's one of those foundations that just makes you look flawless. You don't need but a little bit to get full coverage. I have been loving it, and I'm looking forward to continuing to use it in 2021. I purchased this little cute sweatshirt from American Eagle. It's so funny. When you go into stores now, all you see are sweats and loungewear because nobody's going anywhere because of COVID. Everybody's at home. So everyone's selling lounge clothes and I'm all about that life. If I can find this shirt, I will link it down below. We could be twinsies. Now let's talk about concealer. One concealer that I purchased this year that I really enjoyed is this one by Rare Beauty, and this one is 370N. This was the original shade of foundation that I actually purchased as well, and I really liked the way the concealer looked. I like for my concealer to be lighter than my foundation, so I kept the concealer but returned the foundation. And this is a very natural looking concealer, and I'm always surprised by the coverage that I get just from this. When you kind of look at it, you think, am I going to be able to get full coverage from this? But it is just a really pretty natural finish, and I do get full coverage from it, and my under eyes look flawless when I wear it. And I like to pair it with other concealers, but it definitely can stand on its own, and it stands up well to my dark circles. So I really have enjoyed it, and I'm actually like, you can see through the bottle. And I didn't have this the whole year, so that tells you how much I use this concealer. I love it. If you've been with me for a while, this concealer won't surprise you. The other concealer that I purchased this year was the Dior Forever Skin Correct. It is 3WP, and this is amazing. I don't know whether to say this or not, but it is giving my Shape Tape a run for its money. This texture is unlike any concealer that I've used before. It has a little bit of an emollient feeling, like more of a dewy consistency, but is such thick, full coverage concealer. And I found that I like to blend it out with a beauty sponge versus a brush. I can use a brush, but I prefer the sponge, but it covers everything. This concealer is now in Holy Grail status, and I will repurchase, period. Today I tried out the Tarte Shape Tape Creamy Concealer, and I will be posting that video probably after this one. That's why I'm not wearing one of these concealers. Those were the only two concealers that I was really loving, and you'll find that I do have a mixture in this video of high-end and affordable products, but my channel definitely leans more high-end or medium-end because there are some luxury products out there that I do not use. Let's talk about powder. One powder that I picked up this year was the Givenchy Prism Libre. I got the translucent, it might say pastel on the website now, but when I purchased this, it was like translucent. And this is the limited edition cap. It comes with a little puff that I really like to use to apply this. It's sort of like blue, purples, green. That's the color of the one that I have. I know that this powder now comes in a variety of colors, and I may actually want to try one of the other shades for the other parts of my face. This powder just performs very, very well, and I reach for it a lot. My skin looks really flawless whenever I use it. My under eyes look beautiful. I've used quite a bit of this. I've enjoyed it a lot. I also purchased and fell in love with this Nakia Joy Cosmetics Velvet Finishing Powder. It smells like cake. Like, it smells so good. And it is a powder that I used to set my face today. Nakia Joy is a YouTuber, and she has oily skin, and she really created this powder for everyone who has oily skin. The center of my face gets oily. This powder, hands down, is the best face powder for oily skin that I have in my collection. I filmed another video before starting this one, and I have like brushed the powder brush kind of over my face, but I have not touched up with powder since starting to film earlier. And typically my face will get oily in my T-zone and I will have to powder at some point. I had to wait a very long time for this to arrive from Australia. That's where she lives and where this is made, and I probably need to go ahead and order another one so that I won't be panicked when this gets low as if it's getting ready to run out, because this has made it into Holy Grail status and is one that I want to continue to have always. It's so good. I gotta speed this thing up, y'all. Gotta speed up. The brow product that I discovered this year that I'm wearing today is this Rare Beauty brow pencil, and this one is in deep brown. I always say dark brown. It's called a Brow Harmony, by the way. It has a brow product like a crayon. Oh my gosh. I really have been loving this. This is all I got left. This is all that's left of it. I need to buy a new one. And it has brow gel on the other end. This is a brown brow gel. I think I like it because it's very dark and it goes well with my hair. I think that's one of the reasons I like it, and it's just got a very smooth crayon. I just like using it, and I love the brow gel. So I really love this and need to buy another one. I like it a lot. So let's talk about my favorite eyeshadows for the year. I want to quickly mention these products, but I don't want to spend a lot of time on them because they were sent to me to review. But I really enjoyed these products, so I just thought I'd tell you guys about them again. I did film a couple of videos trying out new products from Stylevana, and one is more recent. I used this product, and I also think I was wearing this in a haul video. This particular one is a little pricey on their website, but is absolutely stunning. It's very pretty warm tone eyeshadow palette. I really enjoyed it. I think I used this eyeshadow palette when I was trying out the Rare Beauty products. Also amazing. The mattes in these eyeshadow palettes blend out beautifully, and I filmed one more Stylevana video with another palette that I don't have here, but I just wanted to mention these, that they are quite good, and I do have a discount code that I will have linked down below. The next palette that I want to mention is the Divine Rose 2 palette by Pat McGrath. This is the palette, and this is actually what I'm wearing on my eyes today. And I have found this palette to be quite wearable, even more so than I thought it might be. And I find myself using it a lot for just everyday makeup looks. I use this gold a lot. I have used this by itself, this kind of shifting color by itself. I'm wearing these 4 shadows on my eye today, and I think something, maybe this is in my inner tear ducts, but I really enjoy this palette, and it is the type of eyeshadow palette that you can wear every day, or you can glam it up. You can wear it on those glam days. It is expensive. I do think it's worth it. The packaging is probably part of what you're paying for. I find that some of these more expensive palettes last longer on my eye without like getting creasy and oily on my lids. They just last longer, and they're very stunning, very spectacular on the eye. But I really enjoyed using this palette this year. Another palette that I want to mention I have not had very long. I just tried this out in the last video that you guys saw me in, and it's this one by Charlotte Tilbury. I just think that the colors are very pretty, and I like the mattes in this palette. Very creamy, easy to blend. These are also shadows that can be worn every day or for more glamorous looks, and that's why I really like it. And they are very easy to use. It's not hard to figure out what you're going to do when you pick up this palette. It's not intimidating. If you want to color in the lines, then you just use these 3 together, and they complement each other, and these 3 complement, and so forth. So that's really nice that it kind of takes the thinking out of it for you. But I don't color in the lines. I am all over this palette. When I used it recently in that video, I enjoyed it, and I have been using it ever since. Before I tell you my most favorite eyeshadow palette, I do want to mention this eyeshadow primer from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is a little mini that I got in Point Perks. I have yet to have to purchase this because I keep getting it in the Point Perks, but I will buy this when I'm completely out of it. It has really passed my Urban Decay eyeshadow primer as far as being the best. It is more white and more opaque, and that actually helps me because I have darker eyelids, but it's easy for me to blend this out, and it helps my eyeshadow last all day, and I just love it as an eyeshadow primer. It is so good. My final eyeshadow palette that I want to mention is this one by Natasha Denona. It is the bronze palette. That should not be a surprise to you guys either, and I have used it in a couple of makeup looks here on my channel. This eyeshadow palette is so perfect for my deeper skin. Every time I talk about this palette, I'm like, doesn't it look like me? It looks like the type of eyeshadow colors that someone my complexion would wear. It just wears beautifully on my deeper skin, and I love it. I have used it the most out of any eyeshadow palette all year. The quality is amazing. The colors are beautiful, even though some of them look similar. This is the first time that I've had one of her palettes where I'm like not complaining about that part. It just allows me to create a very cohesive eyeshadow look. This is by far my favorite palette of the year. I absolutely love this eyeshadow palette. Eyeliner that I used this year, I couldn't remember if I discovered this year or last year. Well, I have actually used this before in the shade Earthquake. I decided to purchase this Marc Jacobs eyeliner. I was using an Urban Decay pencil that had to be sharpened, and I really liked the pencil, but my pencil sharpener kept eating it up, and I was always replacing that pencil. So I decided to go back to something that you just push up this way. I think this is a sharpener on the end, but I never use it. This is just a really great eyeliner. It's waterproof. It stays in my waterline. It comes in a lot of different colors that I do need to try, but I am a black eyeliner girl, and I will continue to buy this. I have already repurchased it in anticipation of this one running out. Moving on to mascara. The only mascara that I think I purchased that was brand new was the Sephora Lash Craft Big Volume Mascara. It's kind of an hourglass shape, and it's a wand that looks more like this. I really enjoyed this mascara, and I still am using it. It's still wet. Typically, you can still use a mascara as long as the product is still wet. It gives you really voluminous lashes. It does have a little bit of clumpiness to it, so if you don't like any type of clumpiness in your mascara, you won't like this. But what I like about it is it's fast. You can whip this on your lashes really quickly. It coats them very fast, and you can move on to the next step in your makeup application versus some mascaras you have to keep going in and in and in and in. Another mascara that I want to mention is this one by Moni, Extreme Skinny Potencara, maybe is how you say it. It's a mascara. The people at Salvana sent this to me when they sent me some other products to review. And I really like this mascara for my lower lashes. I actually used it today. It has a very, very skinny wand, and I actually didn't do that great on one of my eyes, but it grabs my lower lashes just as well, if not better in some cases, than my MAC Giga Black Lash. That's the one I typically use for my lower lashes, and I was really excited to discover this one. It is an affordable brand. I will link it down below if anybody else struggles with lower lashes like myself. Bronzers. I have no idea why some products are kept in the box, but the first product that I want to mention is this one by Tower Beauty Bronzino in shade Best Coast, and this is a cream bronzer, so I was really excited to try this. I think it only cost $20. I have really enjoyed this bronzer this year. I like the color of it. It's a very warm bronzer. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but it adds this rich kind of copper penny look to your makeup look, and I just think it warms up the face so beautifully. I found that I was able to use this product underneath powder and over powder. It is a beautiful bronzer, and the tone of it is what makes this. This is just a really pretty color, especially in summer months. It just gives you that bronze, sun-kissed goddess type of look. Gorgeous. The other bronzer that I want to talk about, another one that's in the box, this one by Charlotte Tilbury, and I have the shade 3Tan. This is the airbrush bronzer, and it is probably on everybody's list. This is an amazing bronzer. I filmed a review on this, and I think that I actually maybe tried this Tower Beauty bronzer out in a video as well, where I was trying new makeup perhaps. I filmed a video on this, and I was really pleasantly surprised at how beautiful it looked on my skin. I was concerned about whether it would be deep enough, but this is a perfect shade of bronzer for my complexion. This is also a refillable pan, so that is nice. It gives you a very beautiful airbrushed look, and the color is spot on. So I love this. The final bronzer that I want to mention is the Gucci bronzer, and my little pink case is getting a little bit rough here. I always call this my collector's piece because the case of this bronzer is beautiful. I just love it. I love the teal color. It's so pretty. Whoa. When you open the case and you lift it back all the way back, you can access the brush that's here. It is just really beautiful. This bronzer does have a fragrance. It really had a beautiful embossed print here that I have kind of worn out. I am wearing this bronzer today. If you're looking for an affordable option, I find that the Endless Summer shade of the Butter Bronzer is very similar to this, and the texture of the Butter Bronzer is also very similar. Let's hop over to skincare and body care and hair care really quickly, and then I will pop back into the makeup items. I will leave timestamps down below so that you can find all the various sections throughout this video. The first product that I want to talk about, I mentioned in a favorites video, and I only mentioned it once because it's such a personal item. This is the Honey Pot Company Normal Foaming Wash. It is a plant-based feminine care product, and this is the regular one, and then I also have one in sensitive skin, and both of these are almost empty. I had one like here and one in my other home, but I have been using this ever since I discovered it. This is a nice feminine wash. This is very good for your lady parts. I'm gonna let you guys do the research on it, but I really enjoyed it. This is a Black-owned company. It is very hard to find. You can purchase it at Target if you can find it. I ordered it online from some company and you can order it directly from the company, but again, it sells out all the time. If you're able to get your hands on it, I highly recommend this product and highly recommend that you give it a try. This is the Living Proof Perfect Hair Day Nightcap Overnight Perfector. This one is almost empty. I try not to use it all the time because I can go through this very quickly, but I really love applying this product at night. But when I go to bed, the directions say that you can just sleep directly on your pillowcase, but I typically apply this and then put on a bonnet and go to sleep. And when I wake up, my hair looks better, feels better. The smell of this product is amazing, and I just have a great hair week after I use this product. So it's really nice if your hair is feeling very dry and unmanageable, unruly. This is a nice product to use. I love it. I definitely will repurchase this. Also, speaking of hair products, I don't have them here, but I really love the Mori Beauty products that were sent to me to review. I have a couple of videos here on my channel on those products. The hair care products that they have are really good for helping your hair grow, but I just didn't want to talk about them again because I talked about them so much here on my channel. So check those videos out. This is a Good Molecules cleansing bar, and it was larger than this, and it did say Good Molecules across the top here. This is a very good cleansing bar for your face. Can't remember if it was an acne bar or a clarifying bar. I really like using this to cleanse my face. Many times I will reach for this bar instead of other cleansers. It is very affordable and it lasts a long time. I think I got this bar early in the year. Kept it here. I'm only here on the weekends, but I use it every weekend when I'm here, and I still have the bar. I'm on the Good Molecules PR list from Beautylish, and I receive a lot of their products, and everything that I have received from Good Molecules is good. This is the discoloration correcting serum. I have an overnight serum, an overnight exfoliator serum. I have that one as well, and I don't have that one here with me. I actually like that one better than this one. That's good to apply at night, and it kind of helps get rid of any fine bumps that you may have on your skin. This is good for promoting even skin tone. It's not just for addressing any dark spots that you may have. It does do that, but it also evens your skin tone, so it seems to help with any texture that you have on your skin. I've used it down to here, and I actually have another one of these as well. So I have one here as well as in the apartment, and I use them both and have really enjoyed that serum. The latter part of the year, I picked up the Paula's Choice Skin Perfecting 2% BHA liquid exfoliant. So this has salicylic acid in it, and it's very similar to the overnight exfoliator that I use from Good Molecules. This is also very good. It unclogs pores and shrinks enlarged pores, smooths an even skin tone, lightweight liquid, absorbs quickly. The one good thing about this one is you can use it morning as well as night, and I really enjoyed this as well. Both of those products have been really great for my skin and have helped me kind of smooth my skin this year. So I really recommend this as well. There are lots of skincare products that I have been using throughout the year that were sent to me to review. For some reason, this has been the year of skin as far as collaborations for me, and I have thoroughly enjoyed every one of those products. I will link those videos either in the cards or down in the description box so that you can check out my skincare collaborations that I've had this year. Every one of those products were amazing, especially the Korean beauty products that I tried here at the end. Donginbi, I think, is the name of the brand. They are so good, y'all. The reason my skincare list is so small for this video is because I really used a lot of those products that were sent to me to review. So as far as body care, I purchased the L'Occitane Exfoliating and Smoothing Delicious Paste, and this is like an almond scent, and this is almost empty. I think my daughter has been helping me use this a little bit. I ask her sometimes, I was like, have you been using my paste? And she's like, and I'm like, yeah, I know you have. She doesn't want to admit it, but I know she's using it. It can't just be me. This is a lovely product to use to exfoliate your skin, like your entire body, exfoliate your legs. It just helps with any little dry skin issues that you have. And what I like about this one is that it has a creamy feel to it, so your skin feels moisturized when you're done. So not only have you exfoliated and your skin feels smoother, but it feels moisturized with this one. This is the Sol de Janeiro Coco Cabana cream, and I've talked about it recently in several videos, but I really do like this. And lately, now that we're into winter, I've actually been liking this more by itself on my body. I typically like to mix it with lotion so that it's not as sticky, because it can feel a little bit sticky, but on my body during the winter, it's not been as sticky. I don't like to just use it on my hands for sure. Whether you use it by itself or with other products, it's really good if you have very dry skin, and I love the smell of this product. I purchased it in the mini size because, as I said, I typically mix it with lotion and it lasts longer that way, and so I just purchased the mini, but this is outstanding body cream. The final body care product that I want to mention is this Nivea oil infused lotion. This one is coconut and manoi oil. I don't know how to say that. I need to work on my vocabulary, I think. I love this. The sad thing is I can't find it. I purchased this one from a Walmart and I haven't been able to find it in store since then. I need to look at maybe the larger, like a super Walmart, and see if I can find it there. I'm sure they still make it, but I just have had a tough time purchasing it a second time. But this coconut one I really like. But when I couldn't find this, I purchased the cherry blossom, and I also like that one. But this one, I don't know, I just feel like it's a little bit more moisturizing. But the oil infused part of this just makes it great for drier skin, but it is not like a sticky, tacky feel. I discovered it this year and have been loving it. Love it, love it, love it. Hang in there, guys. Now, back to makeup. Couple of blushes that I want to talk about. One that I want to mention that I discovered this year is this Butter Blush. This is made by Physicians Formula, and this is, I kept calling it Spicy Mauve, but it is Saucy Mauve. Every time I talked about it, I think I called it the wrong name. And it's sort of a pink color. It's just like the Butter Bronzer. It has like a sheen to it, and it may look like nothing much on my skin here because I have deeper skin, but when you put this on the cheek, it is beautiful. It just adds this nice flush to your cheek, beautiful glow, and it's gorgeous. I'm not sure if they have a deeper shade. I had a tough time finding it in the store, but there probably are some deeper shades of this that you can order online, but this is the deepest one that I could find, and I have used it quite a bit, and it gives me just this beautiful glow to the skin. I love it. These are called the Afrique Blush by Juvia's is what it's called, and this is Serafina, and this is a beautiful coral kind of color, a coral pink. That's what it looks like. It reminds me of the Buxom Wanderlust blush in Mykonos. I've mentioned that several times. This is a perfect everyday blush. It is beautiful and it goes with a lot of different looks. For the price, it is so worth it. I think it was maybe $7-8 or something like that. It is very affordable for blush. I discovered a couple of NARS blushes this year. I won't swatch these. I discovered the shade Dominate and Orgasm X, and they are both stunning. I love the shade Dominate, probably because it's a shade that I don't have already, and this is a very bright coral pink. Everything's coral pink, but it's definitely not like the original Orgasm. The original Orgasm is more of a baby pink color, and then this adds a lot more punch. So both of these are deep girl friendly blushes and gorgeous, beautiful shades. They do have a sheen or shimmer to them. They are not matte blushes at all. So they add this really nice, healthy flush, healthy glow to the skin, and they are stunning. The final blush that I want to mention is this one by Rare Beauty. This is the shade Joy. This is the dewy version of this blush. It is a liquid blush, and it's the first time that I have purchased a liquid blush. When I first tested this out, the jury was out for me because I used a beauty blender to apply it. It was lifting from my skin. It was just doing some strange things. But after that day, I started using a brush to apply it. This is a free brush I got from Lancome, and I like to use this for blush. And I just put the little dot right here, and I just do this pop, 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 until I get some on the brush, and then I just bop it onto the cheeks. It is the blush that I am wearing today, and I'm able to apply this underneath powder as well as on top of powder. And what I like about this liquid blush is it really melds with the skin. It really looks very natural on. It's beautiful. This is gonna be a long video. This is really gonna be a long video. It only comes around once a year, so let's just keep going. These are some face products that don't necessarily fit into other categories, like face palette type of products that I want to mention. One product that I want to mention comes in this little pouch. That's how expensive she is. And this is the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate palette in Intensity 2. She doesn't look pretty. Like, she's been well loved, okay? This is a cream product, and I don't know why I really wanted to try this because it's not brand new this year. I just wanted to try it, and I really love this. I tested this out here on my channel and have a video dedicated to it, and I am wearing it today. And you're able to use this product also underneath powder or over powder. I think when I tested it out, I used it under powder, but today I used it on top of powder, and it's beautiful. It adds a beautiful contour for my skin. It's just the perfect shade for me. And this white product, I wasn't sure what it was gonna do, but it is gorgeous as a highlight. If you just want a sheen on your cheek and you don't want to add any powder products, it will work for that, and it can go on top of powder as well. Or I like to use it like as a base for other highlighters. Like, I use it first before applying the highlighter that I have on today, and it just helps make those other highlighters more intense. I also purchased this year this Natasha Denona Diamond and Blush palette. This one is the citrus shade. I really wanted to mention it because they still have this at Sephora on sale, half off. It is originally $89. It's now on sale for $44. I don't know if it's being discontinued and they're just trying to get rid of the inventory, but it is such a great palette to have that I just felt like I should tell you guys about it. And I discovered with this product that the creams look great on top of powder. This cream highlighter is absolutely stunning on top of powder. It used to kind of puzzle me, but it is beautiful. The blushes are gorgeous. This is the only product I don't use that much. The highlighter is one of my favorite highlighters as far as the shade of this. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is the same shade that's in the Bloom palette, and you guys know I love that Bloom palette. It's definitely something that I am happy to have in my collection, and we'll definitely be breaking this back out most likely more in the springtime. The other palette that I want to mention, I just purchased, haven't had it that long. I am so loving this palette. This is called the Ambient Lighting Edit Sculpture palette. I've been using everything in this palette. These are dim and diffuse lighting powders. These two are beautiful blushes, and this is a pretty highlighter. It's not my favorite highlighter, but I have been using it. And then this bronzer is a little bit light for me, but it does work on my skin, but you got to work at it. I also featured this in the last video that I filmed, but I really like that it is an all-in-one palette. I like to grab this when I'm going to work because I can just focus on the one palette and get a lot of things done with this one palette. I love Hourglass products. I just want them to work on their shade range, but the quality of the product is fantastic. I only purchased a couple of highlighters this year. I really didn't buy a lot of highlighters, probably because I got every one of them, and a lot of them are in these other palettes too. I purchased the Charlotte Tilbury highlighter, but it's not over here because I just haven't had it long enough to really be able to say it's a favorite. It's one that I think I'm gonna have to use for a little bit longer. I did purchase the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter this year. It's not quite a highlighter, but I decided to put it in the highlighter category. This is the shade number 6, and this is like a liquid filter that you can put all over your face. You can wear it alone on no makeup days. You can wear it underneath your foundation. You can mix it in with your foundation, and it adds a filter to your skin, and it adds radiance, and I really like it. I enjoy wearing it all the different ways that I named. It's just a universal product that I'm very happy that I have. It's quite unique, and I'm glad that I have it. It just amps up your makeup look and takes it to another level. I also have this little mini Jouer Skinny Dip highlighter. It was in my Sephora Favorites Poolside little set, and I purchased the set so that I could try this highlighter. It is the highlighter that I am wearing today. It's beautiful. And it's a deeper kind of gold. I have it here down the center of my face, and it just looks really, really pretty on deeper skin. Medium to deep skin tones would really love this. But it's a very stunning highlighter, and I have the mini, and that's all I need. So for lips this year, I haven't worn a lot of lip products this year because of the face mask. I got like a Give Me Some Shine set from Sephora. I've talked about it a bunch of times, and all of these came in there, and I think maybe one more product, a NARS Orgasm lip balmy type of product, that's in my purse. That came in the set too. I fell in love with everything here. The Patrick Ta gloss, I think it's She's Expensive is the name of that one. This is Magic Spell by Lancome. It's a juicy tube. This is also beautiful, and it has like a shimmer, like a little sparkle in it, so your lips look stunning when you wear this. This is the Too Faced lip injection, and I actually used this in my last video to plump my lips. Someone commented that they needed to use theirs more often because you could noticeably tell that it had plumped my lips. And this is probably the only lip plumper that I have used that actually works, but it is intense. And it also came with like a full-size Fussy Fenty lip gloss. I've been using that. I have a mini of the Fenty over here that I've been using. I got a gift set last year, and I think it was maybe 5, and this one this year had 4, but these are all Fenty glosses. I'm missing one, but I have really been wearing the Fenty glosses this year, probably because I have the minis. I can just pop them into my purse. They're beautiful, and they actually wear a long time under the mask, unless your mask is like touching your lips directly. I have a couple of more lip products to talk about. One is what I'm wearing on my lips today. Like one of the only lipsticks I purchased this year. I feel like I purchased it last year, forgot that I purchased it, and didn't use it until this year. But this is a Lancome lipstick, and I purchased it when I was a Sephora employee because Lancome products were on sale, and I really like the lipstick. 306 Vintage Rose is the name of this one. This is a Charlotte Tilbury like lip plumping gloss, Peachy King. What's the name of this one? Before I start lying, what is it? Peachy. I think it says Peachy Plump. So it's supposed to plump, but I don't necessarily think it plumps all that much. It's got a little bit of a tingle. This on top of any lipstick is just gorgeous. And I also discovered this is a NYX lip liner. It's a matte lip liner, and it's the shade Mason. I'll link it down below, but I really have been trying to find an affordable lip liner that I could recommend to you guys, and I found it this year, and it is amazing. And I haven't talked about it in a favorites video because I keep forgetting, because it's so tiny. It's so tiny, it's easy to forget about, but I was determined to remember it for this video. I only have one setting spray that I think I purchased that was new, and that is the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. This is Charlotte Tilbury. I purchased the mini when she first launched it. That's what she was selling. I've already repurchased in the mini as well, and I just actually purchased it recently because I'm at the end of this, and this is such a good setting spray. It does have a fragrance, but it really does lock your makeup in, and I find that I have long-lasting makeup days whenever I use the setting spray, so it is immaculate. Final 2 categories are fragrance and brushes. All of the fragrances that I purchased this year, I loved. These are my Tokyo Milk Dark products. I purchased 45 Bulletproof, and I also purchased Tainted Love. The good thing about this is that it is really affordable as a fragrance. These can be purchased on Amazon and they're very affordable, like $44. This is a very seductive, kind of smoky, woody type of fragrance, very adult, and this is a little sweeter and more feminine fragrance, the Tainted Love, and they are both just hits, okay, especially at the price point. Beginning of the year, I purchased this YSL Libre fragrance. It is just a yummy, oh gosh, it is a yummy fragrance that I think this is the type of fragrance that you wear for your man. The bottle says it all, like so sophisticated, gorgeous. Love that fragrance. I also purchased this Valentino fragrance. I actually purchased one of those like sets at Sephora. You get a mini, then you get a 15% coupon that you can use on the minis that are in the set. I purchased that so that I could get this fragrance. Of all of them, I've probably used this one the most. It's so feminine, so beautiful, it smells so yummy. The last fragrance I want to mention is this rollerball type of fragrance. It does have a spray on it, but it's in like the rollerball section of Sephora, and this is a replica fragrance, and this one is Coffee Break. It doesn't smell like coffee. It actually is a very fresh scent, a very fresh everyday type of scent. It reminds me a little bit of my light blue fragrance, which is probably why I like it. And it only comes in this size and the largest size, which is $130. So I bought this size, which is still expensive because it's like $30, and I've used this much of it. I haven't had it that long, but I wanted to mention it because I love this. I love this, and I am definitely going to repurchase it. At some point, I would love to get the larger size if possible, but I might just keep on getting the little travel size. I had an entire video dedicated to brushes last year, but I haven't purchased that many new brushes, so I didn't want to do an entire video. I just wanted to talk about some of the ones that I just got this year. One brush you all will oftentimes ask me about in my videos, this is Wayne Goss's The Airbrush brush. It is not that expensive, maybe like $35. I got it at Beautylish, and I purchased it not knowing exactly what I was going to use it for. But I thought it was a nice brush and I wanted to have it. So I got it, and I actually use this brush to apply powder under my eye. It has been absolutely perfect for that. I will also carve out my cheeks here. This would also be a good highlighter brush if you like, but it is a nice little soft brush, and it is a squirrel haired brush. This brush has made me say, where have you been all my life? Love this brush. I also want to mention a couple of e.l.f. brushes. One is a blush brush that I like but don't love as much, but I do like this blush brush I got, and I really like this highlighter brush. It is an affordable brush. I got it at CVS, and I use it on the daily to apply my highlighter, and I use this one on the daily to apply my blush. I keep these at my apartment home for work and love them. I got this IT Cosmetics Love is the Foundation brush this year, and it's shaped like a heart. This is for buffing on your foundation. They sell these every year, and proceeds go towards breast cancer research, I believe. This one has like little floaties in it and it's a really good foundation brush, and I have been using it quite a bit. This is not the first time I've used their brushes, so I knew that it was going to be good, but I've really enjoyed it and look forward to the brush next year. May purchase it again. I just got this brush from Sonia G, and I really am happy I got it. This is a natural fiber brush, and you just kind of use it in your contour areas or however you want to use it, but it is good for picking up products that can be difficult to pick up on a brush. Like they're hard in the pan and you can't get the color payoff, you can't get the pigment on your brush. This is where this brush comes in handy, and I did not have one previously in my collection, so I'm happy that I got this. This is the Wayne Goss number 3 brush. It is squirrel hair, and it is a very large fluffy blending brush. This is perfect for applying transition shades, but can also be used for crease colors. But ever since I got this has been the first brush that I want to start applying my matte eyeshadows with. So whenever I'm applying transition shades, this is the one that I reach for first. It is lovely to have. The large size of this is just perfect for getting it on your eye very quickly. It blends out beautifully, and I love this brush. The final brush that I want to mention is the most expensive brush I ever purchased from Sephora, and I actually filmed a video on this brush, and it's a Surratt Beauty, I think it's the face brush might be the name of this one, but it kind of has this ombre handle here. It looks sort of purple, it looks sort of green depending on the angle. This is a squirrel haired brush. It is quite soft, and I also have like a Chikuhodo brush that's large in size as well, and this is much fluffier. This is a little more dense, so I really enjoy this brush a lot for multi-purpose things. Like I use this brush to apply blush, bronzer, mostly bronzer, powder, finishing powder. It is just a best all-around type of brush, and I'm really happy that it is, because it is so expensive, and I'm happy that I have been able to get a lot of uses out of it. I use this brush all the time. It's not one of those things I sit aside and look at. I like using it to buff products into the skin. It is very comfortable to use. It is pricey, but it is worth it. That concludes my video. These are all of the products that I have been loving throughout the year that were new to my collection. And even though we have been stuck at home for most of this year, I still wore a lot of products. All of the products that I have featured in today's video will be linked down below, and be sure to check down below for information about how to enter this giveaway. I think I'm going to jam pack this description box this time. Since you hung in there until the end of the video, how about leaving me a snowman emoji in the comments down below, since yesterday was the first day of winter. So thank you so much for joining me for today's video. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below and I will respond. And if you've not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and click that subscribe button before you leave. So I'll be seeing you guys again very soon in my next video. So until the next time we meet again, this is Savvy signing out.